messed up again.
This time it's going.
Okay.
So there we have it. All right.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Patricia Schmidt, and I'm going to talk to you today about the mask mandates for children in schools. A lot of protests have been going on the last couple of months about mask mandates by parents, by some of the teachers, and other professionals. In the U.S. News on March 28th, just a few days ago, they said that there's no more state mandates. The last holdouts were a handful of states, but they finally took the mask mandates away. A few days later in the Washington Examiner, they said that 4 out of 5 Democrats who in the beginning supported mask mandates now believe that masking is actively harmful to their kids or unhelpful to their schooling. So there's a lot of controversy. One of the things that Freud said, he said that faces are among the most important visual stimuli. So by putting on masks, whether it be a cloth mask or one of these paper ones that you could get everywhere, it's cutting out facial features, which lends to facial recognition. This is impacting children. And it was reported in the dailymail.com in December of last year by Alex Hammer that the young kids development, and it's called early children's development. They have these standardized tests that they give to understand how well students are performing. And he said it's gone down 23%. And it had it that in 2019, the high score was about 105. In 2020, it went down to 80. And then in 2021, it went down to 77, the average score. And then the other 2 tests that they did were a verbal development quotient and a nonverbal development quotient. And they were pretty much the same results. Back in 2018 and 19, the high score was 100. And then in 2020 was about 80. Was about 90 or 80. And then in 2021, it went down all the way to 80. So they feel like that the masks are affecting the children. And it's also interesting, though, that the CDC came out, and it was reported in the Atlantic. There was an article in January of this year. It was called "The Case Against Masks in School." And it was by 3 doctor ladies. One was, she's an infectious disease scientist, and she had a special focus of research on flu and SARS-CoV-2. And then the next lady was a professor at Oregon Health and Science University, and she's a veterinarian on the side. Then the other lady is an emergency medical doctor at University of California in San Francisco. And they pointed out that CDC recommends universal indoor masking by all students over 2 years old, and plus masking for the staff, the teachers and visitors to any elementary school or K through 12 school. So that means that about half of the 53 million school-age children here in the United States are being told and being made to wear masks. Now, the dailymail.com in February 7th said that the pandemic was more or less, the levels were going down, and that the pandemic wasn't actually affecting the children like the mask mandates are, and said that they're taking a tremendous toll on the students with the data on mental health. And then the American Academy of Pediatricians came out about the same day and declared a mental health emergency in children. And so the CDC is the one that, they're the American group that's giving us all these guidelines. But the Atlantic reported that in UK and Sweden and Norway and Denmark and several of the other European countries, they don't have any mask mandates. And the World Health Organization itself recommends against masking kids at 5 and younger at all, because there's such a low risk of illness. And because they said the masks are not in the overall interest of the child. The World Health Organization said for kids 6 through 11 do not need to wear masks because of the potential impact of wearing a mask on the child's learning and psychosocial development. And they explicitly cancel everybody against making children wear masks during physical activities like running and jumping on the playground, because so that their breathing is not impaired. So you can see that it's, even though it seems like it's not that big of a deal, it's starting to be. And they said that the mask impede kids' ability to decode facial expressions, and dampens the kids' perception of trustworthiness of faces. So it's especially difficult for the hearing impaired children who not only they can't read lips because of a mask on the face, but they're having troubles discerning individual sounds. And so the masks are starting to make a lot of difference, and that's why teachers and parents and speech pathologists are getting together. And there's a pediatrician in New Jersey, Kristen Walsh, and it was also reported in that Atlantic article that the masks continue to force kids to bear the burden of virus-related restrictions, and so does social distancing. Despite that, they're at the least amount of risk. But she said that we need to do something. You know, if we could just get rid of these masks on the kids' faces. She put together a toolkit with all these other doctors. And what it does, it's a random group of doctors and scientists that are growing more and more concerned about the mask effects on the children. And so they put together this toolkit. It's a bunch of information that you can take to your communities or school boards or whatever and explain to them what's going on, really, following the science. So I recommend that if you want to find out more about masks for children, to contact urgencyofnormal.com, and they'll tell you all about it. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.